Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. We're going to have a look at how to pass your primary teaching university interview. So most universities have a primary teaching course. When you get an offer, you have to go to the university and you do an interview. So this generally takes up most of a day, and there's all sorts of different things chucked in there that you have to have a go at. Now, if you've had a look online already, then I'm sure you'll be well aware of what each one is. Things like the interview, things like bringing a book. You might have to bring something to do with maths or English. You might have to do a little bit of teaching. You might just have to talk in a group about something, doing a presentation, all that sort of fun stuff. And then of course, the maths and the literacy tests. That's the general overview of what happens in a course. Now this video, we're gonna go into a lot more detail. So I will be with you in a few seconds. Okay, so we're ready to get into this. Now, I'm sure those of you looking to apply for a university position on a primary school teaching course, one thing you will be is excited. The other thing you will be for the interview, probably nervous. Now, those are the right two things to feel at this point, because you know what, you've got this big, wide, open world in front of you that you want to be a part of, you want to get involved in, so that's fantastic. But of all the feelings to feel, there's one thing you need to put across in your interview, and that is something that you need to show no matter how excited, nervous, worried, scared you might be. That feeling is passion. On a university interview, generally most people straight out of school will be about 18, 19 years old. The university course aren't looking for amazing teachers. They're not looking for people that know how to explain fronted adverbial correctly. They're not looking for people that can explain tips on classroom management and behaviour management. They are simply looking for people that are passionate about what they're doing. No matter what, if you're doing a 3-year BEd primary teaching course, or if you're doing a 1-year PGC, School Direct, Teach First course, then you are going to be in for a tough ride. They are not easy courses to complete, even if it's 3-year or 1 year. So they're looking for people who are passionate and resilient, that can overcome anything, because boy, some hurdles are going to get thrown your way. If you can show in this interview you can overcome those hurdles, then you are far more likely to get a place on that course, get an offer, conditional on your grades if you're going out of school. So yeah, first things first, show them that passion. Make them want to give you that job through how excited and how amazing you are at being passionate about teaching. That'll be the thing that will get you through the tough course ahead. So yeah, number one, show them some passion. Now, for tip number 2 is a little bit more down to earth and focusing on one specific part of your interview. Most university interviews will feature some sort of presentation. This could be something to do with maths, this could be something to do with English, this could just be latest developments in teaching. They might ask you to bring something with you to show something. So in my teaching interview, I had to bring a book that meant something to me and that I could use in a lesson, and I had to bring a news article to talk about future developments of teaching. So they were my 2 things that I had to bring and I had to talk about. Now, that might sound quite simple, but when you come to it, there's a vast range of books and there's almost too much choice on what you want to pick. So pick one thing that, again, you can show passion about and that you can be open and easy to talk about. This might be a book you read as a child. This might be one you've seen in your classroom experience. Pick something you're happy to talk about as much as possible. Next, if you need to pick a news article, again, pick something that you're interested in. There's no point picking a news article that you saw because it was first in the list, all about literacy rates in the primary school curriculum, when you're not interested in that much in literacy and your topic is maths. You need to pick something that you're happy to talk about. So if you love maths, pick something to do with maths in the primary school. If you love looking at special educational needs, pick something to do with that. Again, these things that you're excited about, you're passionate about, you're going to get that across to the examiner, across to the interviewer, across to the university tutor, if you are interested. You need to show that interest, that engagement, that excitement, you want to be there. So get something you're excited to talk about and then use it. That goes for any presentation you have to do. If you're interested, they'll understand. Anyway, tip 3. For the 3rd tip in this video, you need to have a look at your basic maths and literacy skills. So most universities offer a test in maths and a test in literacy. They're generally 30 to 45 minutes long, and you need to pass these to have a good shot of getting onto the course. Now, nowadays, you don't have to do the basic skills test that I had to do when I became a primary school teacher. So you might think, oh, well, that's all right then. Or you might think, how on earth am I going to know what to prep for? Well, I've left links down below in the description of the links to the old primary school skills tests. Have a look at them, you'll find some practice papers and have a go. If you're If you find that you're struggling with those, then they're the things you need to practice to make sure you're prepared for those skills tests when you get to the interview. If you fly through them, then you should be good. I reckon if you've got a decent level of GCSE maths, then you'll be able to fly through any primary school skills test they offer you. So have a look at the links down below, click on them, go have a look at the skills test. I'm not affiliated in any way with them, they're just decent information for you to have a look at. So yeah, hopefully those skills tests will help you get the basic literacy and maths knowledge you need. It's important to remember here, guys, do not worry about your maths and English skills. Part of your primary school degree, if it's 3 years, if it's 1 year, will be improving those skills. The best way you're going to improve them is by being in schools, and you're going to get loads of experience on your training. So do the best you can right now, but do not worry, do not stress about it, because it will come with time. That is the thing. Over time, you will improve. I'm still improving as a teacher. You will be improving for years to come. So make sure you have a go, you get your best out of that knowledge, and hopefully sometime soon you'll be able to show off those amazing skills that you've had in your primary school interview. The next part of the interview where you can really stand out is the questions you ask. Now at some point you'll get a tour of the facilities, a tour of where you might be studying. If you're studying at a 3-year course, then definitely things like the education departments that are there. During this tour, take the opportunity to ask the tutor taking you around some decent questions. These could be questions about what your hopes for the future might be, or what kind of development is offered as part of the training there. They could be talking about the placements going into primary schools, how much experience you need, what sort of placements they will be, how long they are, the time, the amount of teaching you do in them. Any questions to make you seem like you're really excited and engaged and listening to what they're saying. If you can pick up on some questions that they've said, then by all means follow up on those questions that they've asked. Say, oh, I heard you mention that. What do you think about this? All right? Show that engagement, show that you're listening, show that, again, you are passionate. Passion is the thing that will get you this place. Passion is the thing that will show you're going to be a primary school teacher. There's no such thing as a primary school teacher who doesn't care about the job. Primary school teaching is one of those jobs where you need all that passion, all that commitment, all that drive. You're never going to get there if you're not showing that. So this is the first step in a very long journey for you as a primary school teacher. Very long journey doesn't mean it's going to be a bad journey, but you have to get that passion, you have to get that drive, that excitement to be there. If you get that in now, then 2 years down the line, 3 years down the line, 1 year down the line, when you become a primary school teacher, you'll be there, you'll be ready, you'll have learned so much. If you're going to be a bit lax, not really caring too much about it, then 2-3 years down the line, you'll be really struggling because you'll have missed off on that important foundation skills that you're looking to get at university. So yeah, ask those questions, get them in there as soon as you can, and make sure that you're showing that passion through those questions of what you want to ask. The last thing we're going to talk about in your interview will be your experience in the primary school. This is one of the most important parts of this interview, so you need to make sure you're hitting this nail on the head. Now, your answer here is going to vary for every single person watching this video looking for some tips, because you've all done different amounts of experience. So use this in relation to what you have done. When I went to do my interview, I'd only done 3 weeks experience in the primary school. So for those who are worrying about not having enough, do not worry, just make it sound like you've done the most amazing 3 weeks you could ever have had in that primary school, and you will be absolutely fine. Pick up on things in the primary school like strategies you saw that the teacher liked. What sort of things were the teachers doing that you could see yourself doing? What areas of the school do you want to take lead on? Would you like to focus on maths, geography, science, English, ICT? Where is your passion going to lie in the primary school? Do you have aspirations? Did you shadow a head teacher? Do you want to get that far up the ladder in the primary school? Are you happy seeing a school teacher, but you want to be that middle leadership, that bridge between the NQTs and the head teacher? Tell me about your future prospects. You need to know your experience. How has that helped you? How has that built you up already? This is all that passion, all that drive, showing that excitement that you went into primary school and you loved it. You absolutely loved it and you want to go back again. You need to get that passion in there, guys. I know I've said passion so many times in this video, but it's so important that you're going to get that in there and show them exactly what you mean. Now, once you've talked about your experience, they might ask you a couple of follow-up questions. So make sure you're on things like the schools you went to, what type of schools they were, the number of children in the class, the number of teachers that were in the school. Was it 1 or 2 form entry? 2 form entry meaning obviously 2 forms in each year group. You just need to know those little details that you can offer up that show you've really paid attention, you've had your eye out, you've really engaged with your practice. The best thing to talk about here as well is, did you get the chance to do any teaching? My very, very first placement, I've been in a primary school for 3 days. And my mentor said, here you go, there's a lesson plan. After dinner, you're teaching it. That was my response. I couldn't believe it, but let me tell you now, that was one of the best things I could ever have done to me. So, if you've had that done, if you've gone into a primary school with no experience and they've said, here you go, teach this lesson, use it. Because you know what, I learned so much from that one lesson. I learned this was the thing I wanted to do. I learned that I wanted to be a primary school teacher for the rest of my life. So, if you've had that experience and you've been lucky enough to teach a class, even with no experience whatsoever, tell us how it went. Focus on it, reflect on it, the good bits, the bad bits, the things you want to do better next time. Don't pretend, don't act like it was the worst thing ever, because obviously you're going into teaching, guys, but I'm sure you can get there. So yeah, talk about your experience in the primary school. Just a quick pause here, guys, and if you are thinking of applying to be a primary school teacher at university, then please drop a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking of, what course you're thinking of applying to, what university you're going to be going to. There's so many options out there and I'd love to hear from you. The more people that respond, the bigger community we can build up, and it helps each and every single one of us. Let me know down below what you guys are thinking, what you're going to be planning on doing, if there's any questions you guys might have, and I'll respond as much as I can. If enough questions are asked, then I'll make another one of these videos about the questions that people have asked about primary school, about university, about interviews, and yeah, we'll just keep going with these videos. Anyway, back on to the next tip. The next thing I want to talk to you guys about is a bit more of a personal thing, in that the questions you might get asked. So, one of the questions you might get asked at primary school that does actually stump a lot of teachers or future teachers is, why do you want to be a teacher? Now, some people don't really think about this because, you know what, they've always wanted to be a teacher. Since they were 3 years old, that's it. That's just what they wanted to do. But actually, you need to show your precise engagement in teaching. You need to show them precisely why you wanted to be a primary school teacher. So, pick out a moment, any moment from your primary school teacher, from when you went into school. Like, I know, that time when I was 17, 18 years old, and my mentor gave me a lesson plan, like I said, and put me in front of some kids. I knew from that moment, no matter how scared I was, no matter how afraid I was, no matter how much I thought it was a rubbish lesson, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get better. I wanted to improve. I wanted to teach those children the best I could. That's my moment. I knew I wanted to become a primary school teacher. So pick out a moment, guys. Find that moment. When did you actually decide and why? Use that in your interview. Answer this question with, again, as much passion, as much engagement as possible, and that will get you through. The other thing I thought I'd mention about when you are doing your primary school interview is that you are going to be working with other people. There's going to be you in a group with 6, 7, maybe even 8 other future primary school teachers in that room. So when you go to a group presentation and you each have got your own book to talk about, or your own maths activity to talk about, or maybe just a news article, work with those other people, listen to them, because you might get some tips. You might get something that you think, oh, actually, that's quite good, that I'm going to focus on that. I want to talk about that too. Also, if you need the opportunity to ask questions, be the one that asks the questions. Be the one that shows you've listened, you've engaged, you've understood what they've said, and now you can go on and talk about what they've said in another way. Link it back to what you're going to talk about. Again, it's just showing that engagement, that active passion that you've got for teaching. I'm not saying here ask questions and try and pick them up and make them make mistakes. You want to support them, but ask questions to show that you're listening. Show the tutors, and they'll be watching out for this. Show the tutors that you've listened and you've understood what they've said, and you're ready to go, oh, I quite like that. Have you ever thought about doing it like this? Or, oh yeah, that's an interesting point you made. I've heard something similar, and talk about it. Okay, use that engagement, that passion to your advantage. Show that you have listened and that you want to be involved. Honestly, guys, you're about to embark on the best journey you're ever going to do. But get these last steps in there, get on that course, and you'll be fine. I've put up on the screen here a screenshot of the types of things that would be normally included in a primary school teaching interview day at a university. Now, this is actually from the South Wales University website, but I've had a good look around at about 10 or 15 different universities, and they all follow the same kind of guidelines. So yeah, this is what you're expecting. You're expecting a welcome presentation to get you into it. You should be expecting a literacy and a skills test. You should be expecting a group presentation on a topic depending on what the university is. But as I've said, could be something to do with English, could be something to do with maths, could be something to do with a book, a news article, or just something that says teaching to you guys. So make sure check your interview offer email for what that's going to be about. And then there might be some sort of ending presentation or a tour of the campus if you're going to be staying at camp. So guys, that just about wraps up this video. Hopefully this video has helped you guys get some really good tips for what your university interview is going to be like. But yeah, just an overview. My biggest thing is show that passion. Do not worry. Do not panic. You're going to be fine. Just show that passion. Show how much you want this and you will get on that course. Now, if you go have a look at my channel, you'll see a whole range of other different videos all about primary school teaching, my morning, my evening routines, hopefully bring out videos on my classroom management and behaviour management tips. So yeah, there's going to be all sorts on there. So go check that channel out. If you want to see some more, then make sure you subscribe. And as I said, let me know down below in the comments what your plans are on how you're going to become a primary school teacher. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this. Videos every Tuesday, every Saturday. Make sure you subscribe to get to see them. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon.